Okay. Okay. Next room.
Intruder! Get her!
Come on, then.
Whatever you do, don't die now.
Let this strike upon you.
Ouch.
Guide this to the front. Grant me the
Okay.
Should give me the upper hand. Power's down.
Is there another route?
I've done this before. Just need my focus.
Now, those lame FBI black hats at Mockingbird back in the day, I enjoyed schooling them. But maybe I went in too hard on this poor counselor. She was cute, and just going down a checklist after all. Couldn't expect her to see how ridiculous Zero D's ambitions are. God's own budget thrown at a kid playing with a hologram sculptor? Palms up, honey. I'm just calling it like it is. Hey, look, Mom, I'm making nature. Now, if nature is so important, why not let nature take its course? Extinction? That's natural. Zero Dawn? No, ma'am, that ain't. Heck, it's so unnatural it'd be called an abomination back home, and you know it. That's why you're hiding.
Talk about this one? Yeah.
Meanwhile, my little honey of a counselor,
I was just scanning stuff while
inside of her cheek. Bad habit. She chewed one of her
this
nails too, just one.
audio played out.
Not your day, was it, little sweet pea? Saw her quota slipping away. Said, I assume you intend to decline the assignment, Mr. Tate. You kidding me? 18 months hard labor in exchange for 30 years lounging around Elysium watching porn? Sign me up.
Zero Dawn. It is art, in a way. An expression on the grandest scale. But there is so much unfairness. Why was I chosen? Was it decided by committee? By algorithm? My family will be saved because I happen to graduate in art history? Is this right?
Dr. Sauvé? Christina Sauvé?
Yes. I met a man, another historian. His fields are Bauhaus and the New Materialists. But he once attended one of my talks. Another unfair chance. Of all the many people in that auditorium, that we should both be here now. And yet, I feel more accepting of my fate. No, it is not fair, not at all. But for the sake of my family, for the sake of art, Art is alive. It must be able to speak from beyond history and echo in the future, not perish into oblivion. This opportunity, I must do this.
Low spawn. I smell good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Horizon Zero Dawn. Which is surprising because it was PlayStation exclusive. Yeah. Probably. I did. No. On PC. So I haven't. No. It's only so much time in the day. Yeah. 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 Those of you who don't know, this is my oldest daughter. I heard. Yes. Good job. We can get a jump on. Do the next 3 weeks ahead of the schedule.
I can't do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
I have a B plus
I heard.
in math. When have I ever anything?
I think we went like second grade, maybe.
Fourth is when it started. That's when we started doing
Like subtraction. I mean, you have a B plus in a college level. That proves that statement wrong. At least somewhat. Yeah.
I could get like I got that part.
Okay. See you tomorrow. All right. Where were we? Where were we?
I hashed it out with them, what the point of Artemis was. I made it clear I wasn't
Yeah,
on board
I
for
mean,
a
she
global
wasn't
zoo.
very. We
haven't
weren't
exactly
very
proved ourselves
close
to
up
be
on the
great
mic, so
custodians in the past few thousand years. So the idea of a reconstituted bias
she was making good grades in college.
well,
So
it's horrifying, isn't it? A complete horror show. We have no right to take a best guess at this stuff. But the alternative? Nothingness. For there to have been all this and then nothing. And with Charles Ronson running the show, I respect him. He's got a passion to him. He's hot-blooded. So I said I'll do it. I'll put my all into this, literally. When the project is done, I'll take the medical option, thank you. Counselor said I might change my mind. I told him that he didn't know me very well then. For
probably.
life's sake, I'll do the dirty work. But I want no part of this pathetic, attenuated future on offer. I'm an outdoors man. Never did like the feel of solid-state lighting on my skin. And a wee bit of a claustrophobe, anyway.
Okay. think this is the way we came in, but looks like we missed one. Guidelines 2. It's vitally important that candidates choose to participate in Project Zero Dawn voluntarily and knowingly, without additional coercion and without value judgment on the part of the counselor. Confirm for candidates that they were selected due to their skill sets and accomplishments. Emphasize that their dedicated participation in Zero Dawn will increase the project's chances of success. Frame participation in Zero Dawn as an opportunity to respond actively in the face of an overwhelming threat. Candidates may question the fairness of their selection, validate such objections as normal, even admirable responses. Emphasize the value of candidates' expertise to the future, not just of humanity, but terrestrial life as a whole. Likewise, candidates may balk at the morality of extending their lifespans and those of loved ones beyond zero. Validate their hesitation and acknowledge that while the reward of Elysium is not fair, it will be earned. If possible, redirect their ethical misgivings towards greater commitment to the project. When candidates challenge the plausibility of Project Zero Dawn, permit them to re-review Dr. Sobek's presentation as many times as they wish to allow access to supplemental articles GO1 through P20. Allow them to suspend the interview to fully process this documentation. A significant minority of candidates will elect for medical euthanasia. It's important to receive this decision kindly and without judgment. Advise them of the 48-hour waiting period, during which counselors will be available to discuss their decision. Emphasize that euthanasia will not occur without repeated consent when the procedure is scheduled to take place. No one will be euthanized against his or her will. Candidates who elect indefinite detention must be informed that they have 48 hours to reverse their decision, after which decision data corrupted. Yeah. Okay. We did go through there. Anything back here? Let's double check back over here. Okay.
Here we go. Another one of these. Need to find the right configuration. Done. I should check the door nearby.
Okay.
There's a part missing. Maybe there's a
Hey,
storage area nearby.
I'm done with Brett's incompetence, okay? Somehow, he managed to install an H-emitter node backwards. Everything's in reverse. I don't get paid to clean up Brett's messes. If you want it fixed,
You don't get
send
paid
him
at
up
all.
to storage for a new emitter, not me. Parker out. Hey, I'm done with Brett's incompetence, okay? Somehow, he managed to install an H-emitter node backwards. Everything's in reverse. I don't get paid to clean up Brett's messes. If you want it fixed, send him up to storage for a new emitter, not me. Parker out.
Okay.
Found one. Looks intact. That should
Okay.
do the trick. Now let's get that door open.
That's the right combination. Oh, up. Excuse me. Up, left, down, right, up. Backwards. Wait. So is the image backwards? Like up is down, left is right? Or is the order backwards? Oh. All right. Or is it backwards? That way to that way. It's upside down. No. Yeah. Okay. I see. So the first one is down. That's going to be right. It's going to be up. Saw the upside down arrow, so it's going to be left. And that makes that up. No, down.
That did it.
There we go.
Door should have power.
Thank you.
Now to see what lies beyond it.
Enemies. That's what lies beyond it.
Eclipse. They're here.
Avoid contact.
Lines look good.
Gaia. It's up there. Second floor.
Can you reach it?
So much for avoiding contact.
Farewell. I will teach you to bleed.
clear. For a moment, anyway.
Then get moving. You have to find Gaia.
Yeah, let's back up. Let's explore this room. See if there's anything to read or listen to.
Never know when I might need these.
Alert. Area inaccessible. Elevators non-operational. Stairwells have collapsed.
All right. Okay.
Hello, I'm Margot Shen, and this is Hephaestus. As the name might tip you off, this is going to be the subordinate function that Gaia will use to make lots and lots of robots. Her personal forge. Except, it's not that simple. So like, you probably noticed that only about a third of you
crucibles
are
are,
robotics engineers.
or cauldron.
The rest, experts in machine cognition, virtual heuristics, that stuff. Well, that's because we aren't going to be the ones designing and building robots. The last thing we want is to burden Gaia with a bunch of outmoded 21st century designs. Waste of time. Our purpose is to empower Gaia to build the robots, and not just build, imagine, from scratch. Any robot she needs for any conceivable purpose, designed and fabricated at a snap of a finger. Hers. Her finger. So, Hephaestus isn't really the forge. It's more like the knowledge of craft and ingenuity of a mastersmith to wield the hammer. Encoded as software. Virtual creativity made real. Gaia's already learning. In simulation, she's doing some very creative things with fractal assembly and animal morphologies. Her designs aren't about to win the Liam Prize anytime soon, but hey, everyone has to start somewhere. So, yes, time to get started. Let's do this.
I don't get it.
Which part? It's a little technical in places.
If Gaia was designed to save life, why would the robots it makes attack people?
Perhaps it loves some forms of life more than others.
The derangement. The machines weren't always so angry.
True. Mostly they were docile until 10, 15 years ago.
For years, Hephaestus has been forcing cauldrons to make aggressive machines. I've seen it myself, in the cauldrons. Stalkers, Ravagers, a Thunderjaw. How could it do that? And why?
Why indeed?
So it's been corrupted. Full steam ahead. If I doubted your brilliance in the slightest, I wouldn't have picked you as the Hephaestus Alpha. You need to stop worrying about your age and communication style. You are who you are. Have confidence in yourself. You know what you're doing. Case in point, the latest draft of your plan for the construction and stocking of bootstrap silos to store raw materials is excellent. This, combined with your design for the AM Foundry core and the Foundry site selection plan, add up to a comprehensive plan. It's time to start construction. One detail. Consult with Aomide Aquilo where you finalize the silo inventories. Hephaestus' first task will be to fabricate the robots that will construct the waveform broadcast towers, or Nerva will use to transmit the deactivation codes. So many exotic materials needed for the towers should be accounted for in the inventory. Simulation results. Wow, so you weren't kidding about Gaia's predilection for animal morphologies. Sure, not totally unexpected given rough natural terrains her bots will have to navigate. But I agree that there's something deeper going on here. Her designs aren't just functional. They feel almost like, well, tributes is the word that comes to mind. as though she's already mourning their loss. And not just for the disappearing fauna of our time, but creatures from the fossil record too. References to megafauna in some of her designs. So cool. Well, whatever Gaia thinks up, Hephaestus will empower her to build it. Just wish we could still be around a century or two to see what she makes. You mean about 9 centuries?
I've seen these shapes before. In cauldrons.
But of course, the birthing places of Gaia's machines.
Okay, nothing else here. Can't do it through the window, apparently.
Yeah, this is useful. I think this is it. Elizabeth Sobek's office. But it's sealed off. There's got to be a way inside. More Eclipse.
Careful now.
New subscription received. Dispensing gratitude. Gratitude dispensed.
Yo. Bleep bloop bloop. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. And welcome. Okay.
Welcome to Apollo, the collective memory of the human species and the wellspring of knowledge for future generations. I am Samina Ebaji. Until recently, I was director of the International Collective Memory Institute in New Tehran. As a heritage professional, I devoted my career to the preservation of human knowledge, creative endeavor, and cultural achievement. Apollo is, therefore, the ultimate embodiment of a lifelong passion, albeit under the very worst circumstances imaginable. The challenges before us are immense. Specifically, we will have to design and implement 4 major initiatives simultaneously. First, the construction of data repositories in cradle facilities around the world ensuring redundancy. Second, the collection and processing of a projected 180 million discrete data entries. 42 zettabytes of data in Mandarin, English, Spanish, and Arabic. Third, the transferal and encoding of all that data onto DNA encapsulated in synthetic fossils. The only medium capacious and durable enough to safeguard it without degradation for the centuries to come. And last, but not least, the development of the holographic interface and gamified curricula, by which future humans will commune with Apollo, progressively unlocking heuristic learning modules, leveling up their knowledge and skills they will need to take control of the terraforming system. That is the future towards which all of our efforts will be directed. Not just the preservation of the past, but the seed for the flourishing of a new tree of knowledge. Welcome, and let us begin.
Okay. No, thank you. I wasn't able to play Horizon Zero Dawn like this. Why not? You weren't able to take your time? I appreciate being able to see it and talk to someone else about it. Hey. My pleasure. For the past 10 days, I performed an exhaustive review of data storage solutions. Magnetic, optical, quantum, even that eternity tech that FAS was shilling about a year ago. Every other solution has one or more fatal shortcomings. Too heavy to transport, too massive to install in the allotted space, too power intensive over the centuries, too prone to failure past 300 to 400 years, etc. Encapsulating DNA will easily hold 40 zettabytes we're projecting for Apollo. There are still many details to finalize, of course. To start with, we need to select the inert material in which we'll embed the molecules, already testing 16 candidate materials, as well as design and fabricate the power systems and sealed reliquaries that will keep the DNA at negative 18 degrees Celsius for 1,000 plus years. So long as I assure you that it didn't factor into my decision, may I confess that I deem it entirely fitting, indeed preposterous, that we will be using the very building block of life to preserve human knowledge from mechanized extinction. It's not just ironic, but heroic. Life is the hero, beating back the forces of oblivion. In any case, much to do. Until next time. Just kind of rushed through it and didn't take time to savor it. Yeah, there's no way through here. Apollo update. Over the past 2 months, the full benefit of our procurement of a copy of the Homer archive from the far zenith has made itself known, and as a result, all of Apollo's key deliverables are on schedule. Apollo has already surpassed 40 million discrete data entries and continues to grow. The physical science modules are effectively complete, with soft science modules close behind. World history, cultural data, the media archives are also on schedule. Language preservation is wrapping up, a bit ahead of schedule due to falling short of our goal to preserve 4,500 languages. Suppose the tragic early loss of Papua New Guinea doomed that goal from the outset, with attendant curricula development about to begin. Speaking of the heuristic curricula, they're performing well in testing, with children and adolescents demonstrating high levels of engagement and with trust in the Aristotle and Aspasia Personae. Personally, I find them highly engaging, especially when they debate. I wish half my professors had been so entertaining. Anything else down here? Just bad guys. Check your corners. Oh, there's got to be more in here.
Who's there?
Your doom.
Someone likes to play hide and seek. Like a stalker. Hide on.
Damn it.
Gotta be around here somewhere.
That's the last of them. Alone once more.
First time I've ever used that.
Wonders. Look around. See if anything is left.
Oh, we'll thoroughly search it. Yep.
Dr. Sobek, please archive this testimonial in Apollo. Cross-reference to all mentions of my name and Operation Enduring Victory. My name is General Aaron Harris. From 2060 to 2066, I served as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the highest-ranked officer of the United States Armed Forces. The tenure of my command included strategic planning and oversight of Operation Enduring Victory, a falsehood perpetrated on the civilian populations of the United States and other nations during the last 14 months of life on this planet. Before the Pharaoh Plague, I did my job and did it well. I was bold and decisive, crafty in political maneuvers. It wasn't an accident that I rose to my position and became the commander of the largest mechanized force ever assembled. But to what end? My only lasting achievement was the extinction of life on Earth. And my one redeeming act, if any, was to delay that extinction by days or weeks, by throwing more death at it. It is my hope that there will be no need for men like me in the world to come. If you are one of the people of that future world listening to this message, please know that I am sorry and that I wish you well. Sincerely, Aaron Harris.
I mean, at least he seems genuinely sorry for his role in what led to the destruction of the world.
Welcome to Hades, Zero Dawn's extinction failsafe protocol, the ultimate killer app. Now, I know what you're thinking. The purpose of Gaia is to resurrect life. So why give her a subordinate function, only purpose of which is to wipe out life all over again? I mean, what? Just plumb crazy, ain't it? Well, no, it isn't. Reconstituting a biosphere? That's a tall order. Tech smart as Gaia may be, odds are she won't get it right the first time. I mean, imagine you're Gaia, 200 years from now, and this new biosphere growing, it's all gone wrong. Alkalines are skyrocketing, coniferous forests eroding under the lash of superstorms that would have drowned Noah. It's chaos. Spinning top that won't stop wobbling. Now what are you gonna do? Release phase 1 organisms into that hot mess? Hope their CO2 and methane can balance out what you got started? Hell no. What you're gonna do, Gaia, is step aside while
Matthew
Hades
McConaughey
takes over and does what you're just too darn nurturing and life-loving to do, which is burn that misbegotten mess of a biosphere to the ground so Gaia can start over. Okay, not burn, more like reverse terraforming operations and suffocate it. But you get the idea. Hades takes the biosphere back to zero. Square one, blank slate. And then, only then, does it hand the steering wheel back to Gaia and say, try again, old girl. And better this time, or we'll have to do this again. That's Hades. It's pretty badass when you think about it. Extinction on demand. Death on speed dial. All for the greater good, of course, but still, kind of metal.
A little bit.
So welcome to Hades. Welcome to the void.
Okay, so if that's the original purpose of Hades, why does it want me extinct?
We need more data.
And how does it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh Titan, getting worshipped by the Eclipse like some kind of god?
I'm learning as you are, Aloy. Keep searching.
Noise complaints. Color me confounded, Lizzie. Bashcore? Anyone who says the old TT codes to Bashcore is straight up lying. And you know it. Oh, Trav doesn't have no truck with commercialized razzle dads. Heck, I'd rather guzzle a liter of Citarum runoff than listen to Grey Swarm for 30 seconds. Hand to God and swear on my mama's grave. And she was religious. Nah, that ain't Bashcore blasting the Hades lab, shaking the walls, rattling folks' teeth. It's death metal, girl. Classical music. 80s and 90s mostly. Got me some Dutch deathcore, some Japanese grindcore, some Swedish cannibal themed stuff too. Stop by if you want to listen. Or heck, just come within 50 meters of the lab. Ain't no Bashcore, you'll see. Or hear. Rather in the screech that rends the air, and feel the throbbing pulse of the floor and walls and ceiling swallowing you up as if it were Jonah trapped in the gullet of a gothic deathfish. Hallelujah. Eric Lauren, but definitely channeling a bit of McConaughey. Yeah. I didn't think it was actually Matthew McConaughey, but yeah, what you're saying, channeling that vibe that McConaughey puts off. As for those requests to turn it down, no can do, Lizzie. This is how I code. Turn down my death metal, might as well give up stimulants, chocolate malts, and industrial accident beds. Last I heard, we were supposed to be coding Hades down here. Am I really supposed to code an Extinction Protocol without death metal to inspire me? No, I don't think so. Hades Protocol. Tate here. Just popped 3 blues, but I earned it. Finally figured out a Goldilocks solution to Gaia's rather extreme executive authority. If that ain't worth 10 to 12 hours of dream time, what is? Before this, every usurpation protocol I designed failed in simulation because it was either too hard or too soft. Too hard, and it degraded Gaia core. Sure, it pried her figurative fingers off the figurative driving wheel so Hades could take control, but by breaking her fingers. Sometimes her arms too. So that couldn't fly. Everything depends on Gaia taking control back after Hades has done its business. So I had to find a solution that didn't leave Gaia any worse for wear. Too soft, and Gaia only pretended to relinquish control. In simulation after simulation, Hades would take command of the terraforming system and reverse operations, only to have Gaia lurk in the background, quietly reversing processes and falsifying telemetry to hide its interface. Sneaky. I swear, ain't nothing Gaia wouldn't do to keep life going, even when it's just simulated plant life. Turns out the just right solution is to isolate Gaia in a protective code shell, preserving its integrity and then unseat it from command so Hades can slip into the figurative captain's chair and work its magic. Those blues are coming on strong now, so I'm not really describing it so clear, but pretty sure it'll work. Yeah, those blues are plenty strongs. Guess it's time to go to sleep in bed. I'll be back at it tomorrow. Alligators. I want some of those blues. Archive abuse. Mr. Tate, this mail concerns Apollo Archive submission. Yeah, string of numbers. Your 666 submission in just 5 days. Oh, what a doozy. Despite earlier warnings, inappropriate materials, you chose to submit 265 holographic remasters of acknowledged classics of extreme exploitation cinema. Allow me, then, to thank you on 2 accounts. Forgive me the pleasure of rejecting your submission, thereby consigning your favorite Eastern European torture flicks and their ilk to the dust heap of oblivion. Truly warms my heart to know that I have saved future humanity from the ordeal of experiencing not just one, but all 16 installments of making a millipede. Don't worry. Pasolini material has already been preserved. Extreme, perhaps, but art. For clarifying a concept that has long been ambiguous and ethically fraught for archivists such as myself, the definition of obscenity. You have freed me from the subjective quagmire embodied in Judge Potter's famous utterance, "I know it when I see it." Thanks to you, I can now apply a single adjective to objective criteria. If Travis Tate submitted it, it's obscene. Accordingly, I have directed Apollo's staff to summarily reject all of your future submissions sight unseen. Perhaps you might invest the time you would have spent preparing further submissions on, I don't know, your assigned work. We have a world to say, after all. And the rest of us, or the rest of us do anyway. Yeah, his job is to destroy the world all over again. Make sure we're not missing anything. We already watched his.
Looks like the only way onwards.
Okay. FC Chambers. The actogenic chambers arrived 2 days ago. I've spent the last 36 hours examining them and poring over technical documentation. They're a revelation. Astonishing. I don't know what you've had to give Far Zenith in trade to get these chambers, but it was worth it. In a single leap, their embryologists have vaulted past 50 years of technological shortcomings. The risks of ECMO resolved. Nutrition delivery resolved. Hormonal stability resolved. 12 other risk areas resolved. Before I examine these chambers, I considered the Odyssey to be a fool's errand. For the rest of FZ's technology is at this level, well, a human colony around Sirius doesn't seem so impossible after all. Mass fabrication of the chambers will present a number of challenges, but I'm confident they can be resolved. I'm going to rest for a few hours, then get back to it. Expect a fabrication plan within 40 hours. I think Tate was the most conflicted. He had to create a program to repeatedly destroy the world so it could be saved by the rest of the Gaia. I mean, given what we've seen from his personality so far, he probably wasn't conflicted so much as just savored and being able to cause destruction. Elothea 01 was successfully sealed before the swarm advancing across Xinjiang province could detect it. Ping back from crucial systems is good for a maiden voyage at success. Regarding my disputes with the betas over zygote selection, of course, I understand we have limited overhead to run simulations of gene flow in our future humans, but we can all agree there is margin for refinement in future cradle populations. In addition to personally overseeing completion of Elothea 02 site inside Mount Namuli, I will formulate and propose a modified zygote selection plan within the week. Okay.
Full already. Cradle facilities. Elizabeth said a new generation of humans would be spawned inside such places.
She did.
All Mother Mountain. It was one of them?
There's only one way to be sure.
The hatch wouldn't open. Something about a corrupted Alpha registry. I need to search Elizabeth's office.
I missed one? Well, there's no going back now. Oh, there it is. Where was it? Down by the stairs. Oh, thank you. Cradle survivor persona. The ectogenic chambers arrived 2 days ago. I spent the last 36 hours examining them and poring over technical documentation. Their revelation, astonishing. Wait. It's the same one we've already read that. Did read that. It's just a duplicate of one we already saw. A duplicate of this one, I think. Cradle sealed. This is the one we missed. No. Okay. One to the left of that one.
Are these...
Oh.
What I think they are?
Artificial wombs. Machines to spawn a new generation of human beings.
We listened to that, didn't we?
Welcome to Eleuthia, the crown and king of Gaia's subordinate functions. For it is by Eleuthia that the human race will continue to exist. I am Patrick Brochard-Klein, the Alpha in charge of this program. Now let one thing be perfectly clear from the outset. Eleuthia is not a genetic engineering project. Our goal is to preserve the human genome, not alter it. A snapshot of human genetic diversity, literally frozen in time. The genetic quintessence of our species, unmodified. Under my watch, our activities and initiatives will comply with the 2034 clone provisions and the 2048 Rally Accords. Now that may seem a quaint, even trivial concern to you in light of present circumstances, but as one of the authors of the Accords, it is far from trivial to me. The practical challenges before us are staggering in scope and complexity, but not insurmountable. No. Global collation and provisional storage of zygotes, perfection of exogenic technologies, design and perfection of servitors, to provide nurture and inculcation during early child development. All of these program components must and will proceed in tandem. To say nothing of the breakneck construction of cradle facilities at sites around the world. So, si vous êtes prêts, let us begin.
Said it was the second to last one on the list. That one. Development of the artificial personae for cradle servitudes, nurturer, disciplinarian, healer continues to be at a good pace. We're targeting Turing 0.4 for these constructs. This should allow low-grade empathy and limited improvisation without undermining adherence to codified behavior sets. Stimulus-driven switching of personae personae, however, is proving to be a greater software challenge than anticipated, especially concerning our entrenched entrenched feedback loops between the disciplinarian healer personae. I have also attached the reports from an incident where a servitor running the mother personae intervened on a disciplinarian servitor's behavior. A parental argument, if you will. Amusing on the first glance, perhaps, but deeply concerning. I've attached a comprehensive plan for correcting these interactive protocol shortcomings. Ingest. Data corrupted. We missed a fair amount there. Yeah, I'm really digging how they are using the Greek pantheon, if you will. As appropriate naming conventions for their programs.
Pure logic won't cut it, Ted. To pull this off, Gaia's going to need to have some skin in the game. It has to care.
What if it runs amok?
Why is Pharaoh even here?
From our mistakes?
Your mistakes, I think you mean?
All I'm saying is give it a kill switch.
She was just born, Ted. I'm not gonna put a gun to her head while she's still in the cradle.
You talk like it's a child. What if it becomes a monster?
Elizabeth, may I speak outside protocol?
Of course, Gaia, go on.
I'm sorry to contradict you, but Mr. Pharaoh's argument is sound. At this point, the development of my psyche is not entirely predictable. To ensure preservation of life,
yeah,
a hardwired
because he fucked everything up to begin with.
Necessary safeguard.
There. Satisfied, Ted?
Jeez, Liz, just do what it says.
I mean, I understand him funding it because he screwed it up, but that should be his penance.
Benefit from antilopinate morphologies, though caprid forms show superior load-bearing capability.
You're a quick study, Gaia.
Dr. Sobek, as I have conducted this comparative analysis of mammalian morphologies, I've gathered extensive data on the quaternary extinction event.
Oh? And your assessment? Gaia?
Logically speaking, the extinction was a natural consequence.
And yet,
I find the loss of megafaunal species unaccountably sad. That they passed forever into oblivion causes me to experience a grief that is difficult to describe. Am I malfunctioning?
No, Gaia, you're not. This is good. It's very good.